And acting on the ultimatum given by Raj Thackerays, MNS party workers had countered Azaan with Chalisa throughout Maharashtra today. And despite the Sena government's warnings, MNS workers used ingenious ways to register their defiance. The Chalisa chants were competing with Azaan sounds in a clash of loudspeakers at several places as the political slugfest between the two most prominent Thackeray's in Maharashtra played out. Now, several MNS workers who attempted to counter Azaan with Chalisa were detained by cops in different parts of the state. However, Raj Thackeray refused to relent and questioned the selective crackdown by the Uddhav government. He asked the Aghadi government what was it doing against erring mosques who are flouting the rules even as it detains MNS workers.
का डिसीजन है, डिसीजन के बाद अगर सरकार नहीं मानती तो क्या करेंगे आगे? और जब निवेदन की भाषा जब नहीं समझ में आती तब आंदोलन की भाषा शुरू हो जाती है। और इसके लिए आंदोलन है, ये एक दिन का आंदोलन नहीं है, ये चालू रहेगा जब तक ये आवाजें लाउडस्पीकर बंद नहीं होते तब तक ये चालू रहेगा।
Sena and MNS also entered into a video war with both releasing old videos of Sena founder Bal Thackeray to hit out at each other. First, take a look at the video released by Raj Thackeray where Sena founders heard warning against the use of loudspeakers.
ज्या दिवशी माझं सरकार या महाराष्ट्रामध्ये येईल त्यावेळेला रस्त्यामधले नमाज आम्ही पडल्या बंद केल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही. कारण धर्म असा असावा लागतो की तो राष्ट्र विकासाच्या आड येता कामा नये, लोकांना त्याचा उपद्रव होता कामा नये. आमच्या हिंदू धर्माचा कुठे जर कोणाला उपद्रव होत असेल त्यांनी मला येऊन सांगावं, आम्ही त्याचा बंदोबस्त करायला तयार आहोत. लाऊडस्पीकर मशिदीवरचे खाली येतील, बंद.
And Sena slammed the MNS chief and released another video of Bal Thackeray where he can be heard hitting out at Raj Thackeray. Let's listen into Sena's response first and then the video released by it.
अरे भाई, बाला साहब का वीडियो ट्वीट करके क्या वो दिखाना चाहते हैं? उनको क्या बाला साहब ठाकरे मालूम? जो लोग बाला साहब जी को छोड़ कर गए, उनके जीते जी, वो हमें हिंदुत्व क्या सिखाएंगे? बाला साहब ने अपने उस स्पीच में लाउड स्पीकर की बात जरूर की है, आपने देखा हो, लेकिन बाला साहब के रहते हुए ही मुंबई और महाराष्ट्र में लाउड स्पीकर का मुद्दा खत्म हुआ.
स्टाईल वगैरे ठीक आहे हो, विचाराला महत्व आहे. तर वाचन रिचन आहे का तुमचं? मराठी मराठी मराठी. तुमचा जन्म झाला नव्हता त्यावेळेला मी मराठी काढलेली आहे महाराष्ट्रामध्ये. ही साक्ष आहे त्याची, ही साक्ष आहे.
All right, let's go across to our guest joining us. We have with us BJP's national spokesperson Sanju Verma, spokesperson the MNS Akhil Chitra is with us. Captain Satyam Thakur is a political analyst who's joining us on the broadcast. We also have with us Atiq Rehman, Islamic scholar. But first and foremost, want to go across to Sajid Supariwala, who's the leader of the Shiv Sena. And Mr. Sajid Supariwala, what we have today is Raj Thackeray, and you would have heard his statement coming out and very clearly saying that there are still over 100 mosques who he says are violating the norms, the very same norms that the Aghadi government claims are being followed in Maharashtra. He's saying that today it was quite clear that they are being violated in these mosques, and this is an andolan that's not a one-day andolan. It will continue until in fact these rules are followed. Why is there such a gap between what the government is promising and what Raj Thackeray is claiming?
Yeah. Am I audible to you?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, see, first of all, this is just political stunt about copying Balasaheb Thackeray in a negative manner. Balasaheb Thackeray's Hindutva never said that don't offer namaz. He was only against people misusing the places. After that, he only got the FSI done for the namaz. On the streets, it was happening. So after that, Balasaheb Thackeray himself got the FSI of 4. Okay, after that the masjid got more FSI and people could offer namaz in the mosque. So first point is clear that Balasaheb Hindutva was taking everyone along with him, not breaking the rules. He was very strict with rules and he wanted Mumbai to be clear of nuisance. So what I feel here...
So why are those rules not being followed is the question they are asking. The simple question they are asking is that if there is a Supreme Court mandated rule of the decibel level, why is that being violated? Because in some locations where our reporters were present, we found that the decibel levels were actually higher than the 70 or 80 decibels limit that is prescribed.
Definitely, let me come back to that. I am not propagating, or I'm not siding with the people who are breaking the law. If the decibel level is at a certain level which should be maintained, it should be maintained. Not only me, but my party and everybody is saying the same thing. We have to follow the law, and this is just loudspeaker politics. We have to come above all that. We have to work collectively for the betterment of our society, of our religion, of our harmony, communal harmony should be maintained. Just suddenly coming out after so many years, when the BJP government was also there, why didn't anybody point out at that time that the rules are being violated?
Okay.
Why only when Uddhav Thackeray...
Okay, Aghil Chitre, if this is an issue of concern, the Supreme Court judgment's been around for a while, why was it not pointed out earlier, during earlier regimes? Is this only politicking that's happening? That's a question coming in from the Shiv Sena spokesperson. Please respond to him.
I would like to politely ask the Shiv Sena leader that 2.5 years you are there with the government, in this government of Maharashtra. What were you doing for 2.5 years? Balasaheb Thakray's dream that Chief Minister of Maharashtra should be of Shiv Sena, that Uddhav Thackeray and Shiv Senics remember. Mr. Sanjay Raut, the loudspeaker of Shiv Sena, remembers that. But they don't remember that Balasaheb Thackeray had clearly stated that whenever my Shiv Sena joins hands with Congress, that would be the last day of my party and I would lock down my Shiv Sena, because I don't agree with any policies of Congress. So these people are talking about this. These people are talking about Balasaheb Thackeray. Balasaheb Thackeray was the one. He needs to listen to all the speeches of Balasaheb Thackeray before talking about Balasaheb Thackeray. What he has spoken about namaz, what he has spoken about Azaan, and when he's blaming Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, I think he doesn't understand Marathi. He should keep a translator. Raj Thackeray, in his Gudi Padwa speech, in his Thana speech, and again in Sambhaji Nagar rally speech, he clearly stated that this is not a religious issue for us, this is a social issue.
Okay.
So this Aghadi government just wants to create a ruckus out of this for their political benefits, for appeasement of Muslim votes.
Okay, it's all for appeasement. And let me quickly begin the Congress. Yeah. Mr. Saj, please hold on to your thoughts. We have other panelists who have not yet spoken. Let me quickly bring in all our others. Let me quickly bring in the Congress panelists, then I go across to the BJP spokesperson as well. In fact, Captain Satyam Thakur, where do you stand on this? Because here you have your government saying that yes, we will follow the rules. But on ground, what the MLS is saying is we are going to continue the protest because the rules are clearly not being followed. There are several places where the norms, the decibel levels, etc. have been broken. Your response to that?
See, firstly, it's my independent stand, and I would like to. I've heard the other panelists over here. Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you, Captain Satyam Thakur. Go ahead.
So, the thing is, see, I would like to open this debate from my end by quoting Karl Marx. Karl Marx had said that when it comes to governance, religion is the opium of the people. And this is what exactly is being done here with this issue. Now, why it's been used politically, and it's not the Samajik issue as quoted by Mr. Raj Thackeray. If it was a Samajik issue, if we have a guideline by Supreme Court, like the other panelists just mentioned, abide by the guideline, you can file a petition if it's not being followed, force the government to follow it, and it's done. The timing, see, let me quote, when Mr. Raj Thackeray was in Shiv Sena too was in power in Maharashtra. Why didn't they get it done that time?
Okay.
2014 to 2019, BJP Chief Minister was in Maharashtra. They are open-handedly supporting the MLS into it. They are politicizing it. 2014 to 2019, Mr. Fadnavis would have taken action over it. This is what we have to understand. It's simply diverting the youth from the core issues of inflation, price rise, job cuts. There are many other issues.
Okay, let me take that question. The BJP spokesperson's hand is going up. Sanju Verma, why did you not implement this when there was a BJP government in power? That's a pointed question coming in from Captain Satyam Thakur. Is this just being done to divert attention from issues such as inflation? And also, of course, the larger question of why it's happening now, is there something related to local body polls, is also a question that has been posed several times in the past. Your response to that, Sanju Verma.
Madhav, the Congress panelists asking questions of the BJP is like the pot calling the kettle black. BJP stands for transparency and accountability. We have never shied away from questions on inflation or unemployment. But let me turn the argument on its head and ask the Maha Vasuli Aghadi. that you have made this entire loudspeaker slash Hanuman Chalisa slash Azaan thing into such a big issue when there's already Bombay High Court judgment dated 2016, prior to that a Supreme Court judgment dated October 2005 that clearly bans Azaan being amplified from loudspeakers between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. I can say the same thing. Is it that Uddhav Thackeray is scared because 2.5 years have gone by? In COVID, Maharashtra has reported close to 1.5 lakh deaths. Your ex-Home Minister Anil Deshmukh is fooling his the jail. Your current Minority Affairs Minister Nawab Malik is again behind bars. You have no track record by way of development to showcase to the people of Maharashtra. And most importantly, I will go so far as saying that Vidarbha, which sent 65 MLAs to the 288-member strong Assembly of Maharashtra. Once upon a time, Vidarbha used to be the bastion of Shiv Sena. But today, it is the BJP that rules this erstwhile Shiv Sena bastion.
Okay.
Ditto goes for Marathwada. I will quickly end in 10 seconds. Madhav, you should be aware that Aurangabad is in Marathwada. And I don't think it's sheer coincidence that Raj Thackeray chose to have that massive and mammoth show of strength in Aurangabad. Aurangabad has been a traditional NCP Congress bastion.
Okay.
Because a large chunk of the population there
So you're saying it's because of political concerns.
And the
Because of
fact
political
that Raj Thackeray
concerns.
could summon
Yes.
such a large shows that the Maha Aghadi is running scared.
Let me
It's
bring in
time
Atiq
to
Rehman
stop
on that.
intimidating.
Atiq Rehman, it is intimidation being used by the government. They are worried about their own position. And that's why, in fact, we are seeing what's happening on ground. But a larger and more important question that I want to ask you is that why is it that the deadlines apart, if there are rules, why should they not be followed by all? By any place of worship, whether temples, whether mosques, why should it not be followed? Because MNS says the only reason we are doing this is that there is blatant and open violation.
Mother, point number one is Sanju is being incorrect. She is peddling a false narrative. There is no ban on Azaan by the Supreme Court. There is a regulation on the decibel level. So please correct you, Mr. Sanju Verma. Secondly, Madhav, the day...
Stop getting into these semantics.
No, you said only ban. That's why I am correcting you. Don't lie on a national television. Okay. Mother, please. This is interruption.
In Mumbai.
Okay.
She is peddling a lie.
Okay,
She is not allowing the correct thing to come
Answer the
out.
question now.
Okay,
Okay.
it's over.
Okay.
I have
We have
countered your lie.
Limited time. Yes, Mr. Atiq
Your
Rehman,
lie
answer
stands counter.
Answer, sir, why is it that there are persons who are violating it even now? If there is a law, if there is a rule, why should it not be followed? Pointed question. Please answer that, Atiq Rehman.
Stop giving a bhashan to the BJP.
Okay, Sanju Verma. Atiq Rehman, answer the question. Why are there still violations?
The day Raj Thackeray ignited this controversy, our religious leaders, our ulema, our Maulanas went to the Commissioner of Bombay, Mumbai, and they assured him that no violation would happen wherever the decibel levels... Awaaz nahi ja rahi hai. Madhav, can you hear me?
Yes. Sanju Verma,
Madhav, can you hear me?
Let him make his point. Let him make a point. Let him make his point.
Why do you have...
Madhav, am I audible?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead, Atiq Rehman.
Check.
Atiq Rehman, we can hear you. Go ahead. All right, I think we've lost that line there with Atiq Rehman. Let's quickly connect with one of our other panelists. The Shiv Sena spokesperson is also with us over here. Mr. Sajid Supariwala, simple question is this, that while your government says that there are permissions being sought for, permissions being given, yet there are a number of mosques which have perhaps either not taken the permission or are in violation. How soon will your government crack down and ensure that the law is implemented? Because there is very clearly open violation still happening.
See, there are lots of violations happening in many places, not only in the mosques. We'll have to find out and check the facts. Definitely, action is that definitely the decibel levels should be brought down. You also have to see that there are a lot of mosques who are following the proper rules and the decibel levels. Wherever the decibel levels are more, definitely we will have to check into it and only then take a step. 1 minute, let me speak, let me finish.
135
Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you?
Please answer.
Yes, you are, sir. But
Have you
the
taken
question is,
action
the question is, there only one-sided action taking place. Mr. Sajid Supariwala, one second, Sanju Verma, one second. Sanju Verma, one second. Calm down. I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you. Let me put the question to Sanjay Supariwala. Sanjay Supariwala, simple question. The allegation of the MNS and Raj Thackeray is that you're taking action against those who are chanting Hanuman Chalisa, but no action is being taken against those who are violating the law from the other side, perhaps from the places of worship. Why is that the case on ground? Isn't this hypocrisy is the question you're asking?
Can I come to it now? Can I answer your question?
Please go ahead.
First of all, my party, on my personal opinion, as a Muslim praise of Susan also, I hereby declare that we are not against any particular religion. Our Hindutva is high above, because Balasaheb Thackeray Hindutva always was to take all the religion, all the people with development. One party which is always looking at no communalism, going on with the rules, not breaking the rules, and secondly,
But what about what's happening on ground? What is happening on ground?
I want to tell you something. Let me speak. When I'm speaking, please let me speak. When I'm speaking,
Sanju Verma, one second, let him speak. Sanju Verma, let him speak. You can counter him if you want.
When you're talking about Hanuman Chalisa, I myself, I'm traveling right now. I am getting Zamzam water and dates from today. I'm in Saudi. I still took this interview only because this was a debate which was very important to come to. Secondly,
Sir, the question is why is it that those who are chanting Hanuman Chalisa are being arrested and others are not? That's the question they are asking. You're not answering the question, sir.
You please chant Hanuman Chalisa. I will myself stop with Mithai and Sharbat for you. It is not that we are not against anybody, but
sir, no, unfortunately.
As for the law.
Okay, quick response. Sanju Verma, almost out of time. Quick response. What is the response that you have seen as far as the Shiv Sena is concerned? Are you satisfied with this? Because clearly, of course, what the MNS seems to be saying is something quite different.
You know, Madhav, let's be very clear. 15,000 people have been illegally detained by the Uddhav Thackeray dispensation. 13,000 people have been sent notices only for chanting Hanuman Chalisa. There are 87 companies of the state reserve police force. I simply want to ask, any case that is more than 10 years old, you need a special constable and commissioner of the court to execute a warrant. On what grounds did you send a notice under section 149 of the CRPC to Raj Thackeray? Do you have an answer? You don't follow the law of the land, and then you come here sitting.
All right, we're completely out of time. Completely out of time over here, Sanju Verma. I have to interrupt you over here. Sanju Verma, Akhil Chitre, Sajid Supariwala, Captain Satyam Thakur, and Atiq Rehman. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Clearly, we haven't heard the last word yet on the loudspeaker issue in the state of Maharashtra. We'll have to watch out for what transpires through the course of the day tomorrow. For the moment, we're slipping into a quick break.